and Louisiana Congressman Steve Scalise. Congressman, thank you so much for being here this morning. Appreciate it. Give us.
Morning. Good to be with you.
Absolutely. Great to have you. Give us the top line on this. You know, we needed something and we needed it quick. It's a big price tag. What are we getting, and do you have any reservations?
Well, when you have a problem like we have with the economy really being shut down in most sectors for over a week now, you saw great companies that were literally hanging on by a thread. This bill was really designed to help families and businesses so that we can have an economy to come back to when we get through this. There's also a lot in there to help hospitals that are struggling too. So, you know, if you look at the bill, you know, any large bill like this, and probably the largest relief package in the history of the country, $2.2 trillion, but clearly a massive response to all of the massive things we're seeing, layoffs, companies that are trying to figure out if they're going to be able to make it through this. This bill will really give them that ability to go get loans that can be forgiven to keep their payroll so that you don't see millions more unemployed, like you saw just last week, 3 million people that were added to the unemployment rolls. You can't see an economy sustain itself like that. And this bill is designed to help those families, to help those companies stay afloat through all of this.
Congressman, I want to ask you about Louisiana because it's now emerging as the next possible epicenter of the virus. Cases have climbed 30% in just 24 hours. So what do you make of that right now? Just to take a look at Louisiana, 2,746 cases, 119 deaths. So what do you make of the news, and what are you hoping for in terms of the approach from people in leadership positions in that state?
You know, in the last week, we saw New Orleans pop up to be one of the top hot spots next with New York. And, you know, we've seen a number of additional cases going to the hospitals. We were able to work with the administration about a week and a half ago to get an extra 7,500 tests per kit to set up a new pod site, a pilot program in New Orleans that was set up in a few other cities that were hot spots. So you can test more people. Of course, that means there are going to be more positives. But, you know, there is an increased number of cases and an increased number of deaths. There's a nursing home facility in my district where we've already lost 11 people that have died, and more positive in that facility. We got CDC to send an expert down just the other day. I've been working closely with our governor, with our mayor, and local officials to make sure that we can get everything we can from the federal government to recognize the increased hotspot in New Orleans.
Congressman, you're preparing there in Louisiana and particularly in New Orleans like never before. You know, the death rate, though, specifically in New Orleans, accounts for more than 50% of those. Roughly 1 out of every 10,000 New Orleans residents has died of coronavirus right now. You have perhaps a crisis the likes of which we haven't seen outside of New York. Are you worried you've got what you need?
Well, you know, anytime you see that number, and like I said, 11 deaths at one facility is heartbreaking. It's alarming. But, you know, you see everybody coming together, federal, state, and local, to do everything they can. Clearly, like all the other places in this country where they're seeing the outbreak, you know, we still don't have a cure. They're trying a lot of different new therapies, some that are proven for other things like malaria. But there's no one silver bullet for coronavirus. So we're going to continue working. I've been working with our local hospitals in New Orleans, and they're doing heroic work. I know y'all have pointed that out, too. They're on the front lines, but they're still going and helping patients and setting up testing clinics at remote locations so that people can go there instead of the hospital to be tested. And then if they have severe problems, obviously you want the hospitals right now reserved for those people that have the most serious illnesses.
Absolutely. Congressman Steve Scalise, thank you so much for your time, and we will certainly be paying a lot of attention to your backyard, as we should. God bless.
Thank you, and God bless.
Thanks, Congressman.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, Congressman.